back-to-back wins over Lehigh, major postseason implications in that. Can you just talk about what you saw from the team today?
Yeah, I thought we saw composure, like the players mentioned. I thought we saw leadership. It wasn't a great first quarter for us, but like Jade said, I told them to put it behind them. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. We can come back. We have 30 minutes to come back in the game. And they stuck with it. They stuck with the game plan. We had to change a couple things coming into today, which I think in some ways helped us. Hottinger came in and played really well. She hadn't been playing. She was out injured, and she made a huge difference for them. And we hadn't really guarded her per se in practice, so I expected her to score a little bit, and she was their leading scorer. But, the second, third, and fourth quarters, we really did a much better job of executing offensively. We missed a ton of layups, which was frustrating. And I think the team was a little frustrated with that, but kind of kept their heads about them and still crashed the offensive boards, still found different ways to score. I think the bench showed up big time for us today. At 29 points off the bench. Riley and EJ in particular really stepped up with the scoring aspect, and we needed them to. And I know Riley hit big shot after big shot, but she also played really good defense today. And just really, that's why we wanted her in. We kept trying to get her in and out so she wouldn't foul out because she had 4 fouls. But overall, just executed fairly well. And it's hard to sweep anybody in the league, especially this year. It's just difficult to do that. And we've only done it once, and that was with Navy. So, it feels good. I mean, obviously we had 2 home games, so that helps for sure. But it's has big implications for postseason and where we end up if we can win the next 2 games. But we're not taking anyone lightly at this point.
So I know last kind of post-game you talked about, and the players as well, kind of Lehigh potentially finding their stroke in this game.
Yep.
Kind of their ability, they're going to make shots coming into this game. How do you kind of, knowing that, how do you kind of combat that offensively going into this game in terms of game plan?
Well, I mean, we didn't change anything because we were just trying to take away threes like Jade was talking about. I mean, we switched a lot. So we had guards on post players, but at the end of the day, they're still taking 2s and not 3s. So they might score some of those, which is okay. It's just we can't compete with teams that score 10, 12, 14 threes a game. So, we tried to continue. I thought our transition defense struggled in the first quarter, and that was a big problem. But then we kind of got ourselves back into the flow with getting some easy baskets in the second quarter. And as we close the gap, we're feeling a little bit better. Even though we're down at halftime, we felt a little bit better. So I think playing 2 games in a row hurt them as shooters just because you're tired. And you're trying to throw those shots up, especially late in the game when you're down. It's harder to make those shots. So I do feel a little fortunate that they missed them, that I thought some of them were going to go in. But, I mean, that's why you play the game, I guess, right, and figure it out. So we didn't really adjust anything on the perimeter necessarily heading into today.
What about during the game? After the first quarter, I know you kind of touched on it earlier, but what were some adjustments that you made during the game, throughout the game, especially after that first game?
It was where the ball was and who was open, I think. And they kept switching defenses, zone and man. When Jade was in, it was zone. When she was out, it was man. That's what they were doing in the first half. So recognizing that and knowing where the ball needs to go. I thought Ivy did a real good job in the first half of attacking. She didn't make all her shots. I know her percentage wasn't great, but she at least took good shots. And that's huge for us. So it was really and we missed, I think, every 3 in the first half, if I'm right. I think we went 0 for we made 1 in the second quarter, I guess. But it felt like Kayla made 1. That's right. That's her first 3 of her career. And so when you're going against zone and you know that the 3 is going to be open and you take them and they don't fall, it's disheartening a little bit. So we tried to get EJ in, get her scoring a little bit. She helped us down low on some short corner shots and layups there. But yeah, I just keep coming back to the bench. We really needed the bench today, and they showed up. And when they show up and they play that well, it gives the starters a little bit more rest, which helps them sustain their energy throughout the game.
I know throughout the season we've kind of talked about next steps and getting to that next level. It seemed like three-point shooting really came alive in the third quarter today. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of talked about it earlier, shots weren't falling and everything like that. When shots are falling and the offense is clicking the way it was, what needs to happen for the team to take that next step, whether it be on the defensive end, something on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of like getting stops so we can get easier scores as well. I mean, Riley and Maddie were a big part of that third quarter shooting barrage that you're talking about. Yeah, I think the stops. I mean, I keep coming back to we miss so many layups, and I keep trying to tell them take off 2 feet. When you're going that quick to the rim, you're shooting the ball too hard off the glass. To take off 2 feet, relax, and be patient. Jade knows that she's going to get every shot she takes is contested around the basket. So she just needs to be a little bit more calm, and sometimes she goes up too quick. But yeah, it's really getting stops, getting out in transition. That's what always gets us started, and then just finishing some of the layups that we were getting. I mean, we missed point blank transition, wide open layups.
Real quick, talk to me about the 2 players that I just talked to, Riley and Jade. Obviously, Jade had a double-double. Riley shot 3 for 5 from deep. I think she was plus 15. Yeah. What was their impact like tonight, and how did they help get the win?
Just doing what they do best. I talked to Jody after the game about the different ways Jade can impact the game, and she can help you in every single way. She can help you in rebounding and scoring and assists and steals. She does a little of everything, and we needed her to do that today for us to get the win. We talked about in one of the last timeouts, I think in the fourth quarter, the media, that we need to make some plays, right? I think Jade got her hand in on a couple things. We got a steal here or there. Like, those are the things that Jade can really help you with. And Riley's just solid. She's just solid. You can rely on her offensively. You can rely on her defensively. What challenged Riley with Lehigh is that she's never close enough. So, making sure that she's a little tighter and then still being able to defend when people put the ball on the floor. And I thought she did an excellent job on that today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Big win. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I got one. You talked about 29 points off the bench tonight. I know this sounds like a bigger question, but just how important is that for a team like you guys? 2 in a row against Lehigh, you're coming towards the postseason and stuff like that. Just how important is it that you're getting that type of production from the bench and not from the start?
I mean, I think about foul trouble when you talk about that. And in the tournament in particular, if a starter gets in foul trouble, can you put a bench person in and still get the same amount of scoring? And I think that's what they're showing. Like, EJ really struggled at the beginning of the year, and now she's starting to see where she can make a difference. And the team loves to pass her the ball. They want to get her the ball inside. So I love that about our team as well. She just needs to be a little more patient sometimes in some of the misses she's had. And, Riley and Maddie coming off the bench is awesome to have your 2 best shooters coming in after you've had to deal with the other kids for X amount of minutes, right? It's kind of nice that they can come in when maybe other defenses are a little bit more tired. So I do think the bench is huge. We've never had a bench this deep since I've been here. And it's kind of fun, and it's kind of difficult too, because it's like you want to try to play everybody and then try to see what they can do, and then if the stars are playing well, what do you do, that type of thing. But I love being able to play 10 people. That's been a pleasant surprise. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Good win.
guys.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.